close the shortfall. This year has forced us to find new ways of working. Even though we can't meet face-to-face, I'm happy to be here virtually to address the more difficult issues amongst us. Let me speak frankly. As we face this global crisis, I am concerned by the amount of discord amongst and within us. At a time when our citizens are looking for reassurance of a brighter future, we see too many actions that hinder international cooperation, undermine faith in the rule of law, imperil regional security, and call into question our shared commitment to universal human rights, women's rights, and freedom of the press. Uncertainty and instability, dissonance and tensions won't help anyone overcome this pandemic and its impacts. They won't help people be safe from persecution or mistreatment around the world. And they certainly won't help us address the broader challenges before us. Our collective success depends on finding better ways towards peace, prosperity, and sustainability. Today, I hope that we can have these important, although not always easy, conversations. We've made progress, but much more is still needed. Working together, we can make a real positive impact on people's lives and overcome global challenges like COVID-19 and climate change. Together, we can build a brighter future. Ensemble, on va passer à travers. Merci, mes amis.
شكرا دولة الرئيس.
Thank you, Mr. Prime Minister. I now call the President of South Africa. The floor is yours.
Your Royal Highness and Excellencies, let me join all others who have commended and congratulated Saudi Arabia for the manner in which you have been guiding the G20, but also for arranging this virtual summit. For most of this year, the G20 has focused on supporting countries in their efforts to save lives and to contain the spread of the virus. Now, we must also confront the financial and economic aftermath of the devastation of this virus. Many of the hardest hit economies are in the developing economies, but also in my own continent, Africa. Economic activity on the continent is expected to contract by 3.2% in 2020, with the region falling into a recession for the first time in 25 years. The region, Africa, has done a lot in the effort to deal with the pandemic. It developed a continental strategy to deal with COVID-19, but also embark on mechanisms to deal with the procurement of medical supplies, both diagnostic as well as therapeutic. And we would like to thank many countries around the world for the support that they afforded the entire continent of Africa. However, the macroeconomic and governance reforms undertaken by many countries, also on the continent, were politically painful and took time to produce results. Now all of that has been set back. We would like to call on the G20 member states to use all of their persuasive powers, individually and collectively, to convince all creditor countries, the multilateral development banks, the credit rating agencies, and the private sector to continue to work with us to address the problem of the burgeoning and unsustainable developing country debt. The G20 debt servicing suspension initiative has helped to defer the immediate debt service payments of participating countries, and the recently agreed 6-month extension will provide further support. However, in addition to the suspension of debt service payments, large financing needs remain necessary to both stave off a deep humanitarian crisis and stimulate economic rebirth. The IMF should urgently consider the issuance of additional special drawing rights and for the allocation of these disproportionately to member countries that need the resources most. Another immediate task is to ensure there is equitable and affordable access for all countries to the COVID-19 vaccine once it is developed. I'd like to call upon the G20 countries to assist with the funding shortfalls for the Access to COVID-19 Tools Accelerator to ensure this platform is able to deliver on its mandate. We have an opportunity now to drive global economic reforms. This, Your Excellencies, would include the WTO reform to address imbalances in global trade rules, measures to accelerate industrialization in developing countries, and combating the practice of under-invoicing, which is harming emerging market economies. Let us all continue to work together in the spirit of solidarity and cooperation to ensure that the global recovery is inclusive, and especially inclusive for the empowerment of women and the youth of all our countries, and we should make sure that it leaves no country behind. Your Royal Highness, I thank you for giving me this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President. I now call the President of France. The floor is yours.
Merci beaucoup.
Thank you very much.